In the meantime, well, the government now can continue to drink free at the bar. The drunken sailors have all decided, you know what, let's just keep spending money that we don't have. So, oh no, they were going to do a big shutdown. Oh no, a big shutdown. Well, now apparently no shutdown. So they're going to continue to spend money that they don't have. They spend, $6 trillion. They bring in $4 trillion. They got $2 trillion. Whoa, just add it to the debt. Add it to the deficit. Just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep spending money. It'll be up to about $37 trillion. To put that in perspective, take an American football stadium and take 35 or 36 of those American football stadiums and fill them to the top, to the very top. So where the Seahawks play, before they would play on Sunday, take a $100 bill and put one down, say at the 50-yard line, and then another one and another one, or a $100 bill at the 50, then keep going, till finally you fill that stadium to the very top with $100 bills. And now do it again 35 more times. That's it. That's what we owe. So we spend money we don't make, then we have to borrow money, which removes money from the private sector, which drives up interest rates. So we all pay for this, but no one has the stones to stand up and try to stop it. And you get somebody like Chip Roy from Texas.
We are going to increase the debt ceiling, not just $4 trillion. That's false. We have spent $4.7 trillion in additional debt in the last 19 months. We're going to increase the debt by $5 trillion. That's what's going to happen right here by Republicans, increasing the debt $5 trillion. And what are you doing in the same bill? $110 billion unpaid for. Because you never have any ounce of self-respect to go out and campaign saying you're going to balance the budget, and then you come in here and pass $110 billion unpaid for.
Yeah. And what are they applauding?
On top of the $200 billion you did for WEP, you guys won't agree with that, but the fact of the matter is $330 billion. Congratulations, you've added to the debt since you were given the majority again on November 5th. It's embarrassing. It's shameful.
You know, it's even more shameful. President-elect Donald Trump says they're thinking about getting somebody to primary against Chip Roy because he don't want this sort of talk.
Yes, I think this bill is better than it was yesterday on certain respects. But to take this bill yesterday and congratulate yourself because it's shorter in pages but increases the debt by $5 trillion is asinine. And that's precisely what Republicans are doing. I'm absolutely sickened by a party that campaigns on fiscal responsibility and has the temerity to go forward to the American people and say, you think this is fiscally responsible. It is absolutely ridiculous.
It is. Chip Roy, Ken Buck would say something like this. He quit in the middle of his term. He's like, I can't take it anymore. There were like 36 in the Freedom Caucus that said, listen, we just can't keep doing this. It is not right. It is not fair. It is not smart. Why are we spending more money than we take in? What is the effect? But no one has the intestinal fortitude to say, stop the spending and then let's cut spending before we decide to cut taxes, right? So you can't just cut on the one side. There have to be cuts on both sides, but no one wants to do it because everybody wants to get reelected again because everybody likes their job. So they just keep spending them. It's like going to a bar and you just keep ordering drinks. You go, who's paying for these? Don't worry about it. Let's get another round. Just keep paying and paying and paying. Well, who's going to pay? Don't worry. Well, when they leave, you know who pays for it? Our kids pay for it. So when you come into this world, already you take your first breath as an American citizen, they hand you a bill. The bill used to be $37,000 for every single person. I think it's now up to almost $50,000. Everyone has to pay it. So for my kids and your kids and the grandkids, where will it come from? It'll probably come from an increased payroll tax. It'll come from increased taxes in just about everything that you buy. We'll be paying for all of this debt. But nobody cares. And we watch CNN or say, they talk about, they're going to shut the government down. Oh, whoop-de-doo. So that would basically mean, federal workers wouldn't get, they would lose, they wouldn't go to work. It doesn't matter. They would still get paid. So if they were out for 2 weeks, guess what would happen? They wouldn't work for 2 weeks, but we would give them the pay that they didn't earn because they got 2 weeks off. So they would basically get 2 weeks of free vacation. Oh, no, they're going to shut the government down. And they're all now celebrating. Senate is about to vote about the shutdown. I'll tell you what, shut it down and have somebody get in there. And then when you hear people say, give Elon Musk a hard time, or they're calling him President Musk, what he did is he went through the 1,400 pages. He looked at all the waste. He stuck it through an AI, and AI went through and started to mark everything that was a waste or was not accounted for or was just simply on automatic and continued to stay in there. And he went through, he goes, look at all this waste. Look at all this junk that's in here. Get this stuff out of here. But they don't want to do that. There you go. Pass it. There you go. Everybody go home. You've all done a great job. Here's the hardest part. If you do run for Congress, there's nothing you can do. Because if you got in there and you said stuff like Chip Roy, you have people going, let's primary him because we can't have him stepping out of line. That's why Ken Buck quit. He said they can't get anything done. And I talked to Ken Buck's campaign manager because they wanted me to run for Congress. So I talked to the campaign manager and I said, how many people do you need in Congress to actually stop this insanity? He said, you need about 85 people. You had 36 in the Freedom Caucus, not enough. You got to get about 85 to 90 people that have the cojones to stand up and say, we're not going to continue to spend money like this. It is not fair to the American people. It is not fair to the next generation of Americans that will have to pay the debt that we are now not courageous enough to say we cannot spend money that we do not have. Or we'll just borrow more. So when they say they're going to raise the debt ceiling, that means how much more money are they going to have or be able to borrow? So they're going to have to put out bonds. They're going to borrow. It takes money from the private sector, raises up interest rates. Or what they can do is just drive up inflation, which robs everybody of money and helps pay things down for them. It's just obscene. They would not be able to do this in a private sector. You would go to jail for the type of crime this is. It is truly a crime against the American people. But let's all celebrate. It's awful. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I'm just wasting my time. No, seriously. Let's talk about something else. Because, the debt ceiling. Save the government. I saw one thing. I remember when they shut down the government, Obama was in there, they closed all the national parks, and you couldn't go in. They put ropes up. They had guards there because they wanted to make it uncomfortable for people. In this case, they didn't do any of that. They wouldn't do that. A couple of years ago, they just simply left it. You could do whatever you wanted to do, go to the parks and stuff. They wanted to make people feel it, put the pressure on the Congress people to continue to spend the money. It's just awful. But again, everybody's drinking for free. We're all drinking for free. Who cares how much they charge us? Who cares? Nobody cares. King County is going to crack down on prolific graffiti vandals. I'm glad we're not calling them artists anymore, as small businesses and taxpayers suffer having to pay for this thing. So I think they caught 17 of them. It's not that hard to catch these guys because they actually write their names on the walls. It's just like, okay, are you Marco? Yeah. All right, come on, get in the car. Now, are you Gargaigi with the little smiley? Yeah, that's me. Get in the car. So they got 17 of them, and they're going to charge them with felonies, and they are going to, I think, appear. They've been charged. They're going to chance. I think they're going to court in January. It'll be interesting to see how many of the 17 show up, but at least they're doing something about it. Apparently, they've been working on this thing for a number of years to be able to finally catch them. Again, I don't know why it would take so long. They're writing their name on the crime. So there they are, and they knew who they are. There's a great documentary, if a documentary on something like this could be great, where they followed those guys around. They watched them, how they do it, talked about it, they bragged about it. It's just kind of something that they feel gives them power or prestige to be able to put their names on some giant wall somewhere.
Well, one of them in particular in the documentary you're talking about, and he's one of these 17, and his name is everywhere downtown, just everywhere.
He's really good.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. But they try to keep themselves anonymous in the documentary, but he's got a very unique tattoo on his neck. And at one point, he kind of slipped and exposed it. And they knew because they had arrested him before that was on his file as having that tattoo. That's how they were able to finally have evidence that he was this artist that they were looking for.
Oh, and they tracked him down.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, good. Got him. Again, we'll see what happens when they're in there because they could say, well, you know, it's me expressing myself and I wasn't breastfed as a kid and my dad didn't love me and I need to do this as an outlet and, you know, please, you know, I'm a BIPOC or something like that, so please let me go. And the judge will be like, well, you know what? Why don't you go home to your grandmother or just do art around the house? They'll see if they clean it up as well. So 17 get a chance to be able to stand before justice.